News from Mike Muse coming up next, and we got a special guest, the one and only Jordan Jackson is going to be on the show. He's going to give us his high school graduation speech. Have the B sway the morning. Let's go. Oh!
Everything happening within our government.
This is a special report.
It's the political news with Mike Muse on Sway in the Morning.
That's right, man. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45. We talked about this all morning. It's a sub that we got a special guest that's going to be on the show this morning. But first, let's say salute to the one and only Mike Muse. Welcome back to the show, Mike Muse.
Yo, what's happening? Good morning, everyone. Good to be back again talking to you guys today.
Real quick, before we get into our special guest, what kind of response you got from this morning? And is anything else you want to tap the citizens with?
No, man, this is a really great response. People are really thankful that how we were all talking this morning. Sway, Heather B, and Tracy G, it just gave a reminder to people about how serious COVID-19 really is, and that COVID-19 has not gone away because the sun is out and the temperatures are rising. It's good to keep in mind that as the temperatures are rising, so are also the number of confirmed positive cases around the country, in particular the hot spots within Texas and Florida and Arizona, California seeing a resurgence. And just the FYI, in New York, I'm seeing a lot of gatherings and outdoor, seating and dining. So just be mindful because it could come back to us too as well. And so I think what the main thing I was getting was that it was good people to be reminded that it's still happening.
Absolutely, Mike. And earlier this week, you brought up a subject. You brought up something that happened to a young man by the name of Jordan Jackson, and he was a graduate of Luella High School. And you told us what happened to him. I'm going to have you set this up, and I just kind of threw it out there, man. You should find this kid and let him come on our show and tell his story. So, Mike, can you do us a solid and talk to us about who this kid is, this young man is, Jordan Jackson, and maybe you could introduce him to our audience.
I absolutely will, man. And so I just think it just goes to the power of the platform that you created with Sway in the Morning to allow something so quickly to happen that could be so impactful to our citizens out there, but it's also to a young person who listens to our show. Around the time, around Tuesday, we were discussing the primary results that had came from Tuesday night's primaries, and we were discussing it on Wednesday morning. And I brought it to the attention that I had received a video from a young black man who had just graduated high school, who was senior class president. And during his graduation speech that was done live, when they went to upload it to YouTube, his school district that's outside of Atlanta, they censored him discussing Black lives and talking about how Black lives matter. And it had a very personal impact on me, Sway, Heather B. and Tracy G, as I was mentioning, because I was senior class president, and I know how important that is to give that speech. You think about that your entire year. As soon as you're elected, only thing you really start thinking about is the excitement of delivering your class speech, right? It's one of the greatest honors you can have as class president. And so to see his speech get edited, that bothered me, right? Seeing someone censor his First Amendment right to free speech into a symbol in front of his class. They elected him for that reason. They elected him for his constitution, of who he is. And so to see that being censored, that troubled me. And so I brought it to our attention to call up, and so I was able to find him and reach out to him. I was able to get something back, man. And Sway, his bio, this show is really great for introducing people in their bio. So I hope I can do his bio justice the way that you normally do a bio. But Jordan was a very involved student while he was at Luella High School. He served not only as class president, but he was part of Black Student Union. He was a member of DECA, which is the international marketing organization. He served as his school's student ambassador. Mr. Jackson was part of the principal's council. He was also part of Henry County Superintendent's Council. And so I didn't even know that he and I would probably have that connection because I was on the Junior Board of Education for my city too as well. He was part of the Student Government Association. He was part of FCA, which stands for the Fellowship of Christian Athletics. He was a 21st century leader while being a student athlete. And in addition to his being class president, he was also an athlete, and he's also worked and started his own clothing line. He can talk a little bit more about that, BLXCK, and he will be attending North Carolina Central University in the fall, majoring in marketing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the Sway in the Morning Show, Mr. Jordan Jackson.
Wow. Jordan Jackson.
Jordan.
How you doing? How you doing? Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. And how old are you?
18.
Man, can I work for you? I'm trying to get a job now. Yo, wow, that's so impressive. First of all, congratulations to you and congratulations to your parents, and your family members. I'm sure they're excited about all that you've accomplished. And you've accomplished this during a really crazy time. I mean, your life has been filled with a lot of, on a social aspect. You've had to witness a lot of social unrest throughout your childhood to get to this point and to stay motivated. I'm curious to how you were able to balance your time with all of these activities while attending school. What was the key to your success, would you say?
Definitely just staying organized and keeping my head focused and having tunnel vision on what I wanted to accomplish to make sure I completed all my goals.
Yeah. It's interesting with all of these activities. What was your social life like? Did you have fun?
Right.
Oh, no, I still had fun. I definitely made time on the weekend to still hang out with friends, play hoops and everything.
Huh.
Okay.
Was it easy for you to find friends who are also on the same wavelength as you as far as like that tunnel vision and having goals? Because a lot of times in high school, you're like, man, I'm never going to have the time of my life without this many responsibilities. So it kind of can be difficult to find your tribe.
Oh, yeah. During school, I'm a very social person. I definitely have my circle of friends, when it's about business and about school, and then when it's just time to have fun. So I kind of balance that pretty well for myself.
Nice.
You hear this, HB? He sound like he's the perfect, shoot, if I had a son, man, I'll name him Jordan Jackson. He sound perfect, right?
Now, Jordan, you're an athlete. What sport did you play? I know.
So I ran cross country, I ran track, and then I played basketball.
Let's talk. Hold up, Mike. Let me jump in real quick.
Oh, God.
Hold on, guys. Y'all know my history. I trained with cross country, but I ran track. What were your events?
I ran 32. So that's how I kind of trained for track with using cross country. And then in the springtime, I got ready for the 3200 for track.
The 3200. Oh,
Yeah.
That's like that's the 2 mile, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 mile.
That's
Yeah.
2 mile, man.
Okay, yeah. Let me jump out of this conversation. Go ahead, Heather and Mike. Anybody want to jump
Go
in?
ahead, Mike.
Jordan, I find it really interesting that you started your own clothing line. I feel like a lot of young people are really starting to pursue entrepreneurial endeavors. What made you want to become an entrepreneur and start your own clothing line?
Well, I took a marketing class my sophomore year, and our final project was to create our own business and, kind of started from the ground up with the business plan and work with a team to create one. So, I created this clothing line basically to inspire my peers, to show them, that weren't in the marketing class at the time, to show them that, you don't need all this money to, build a business. You just need, hard work and, ideas just to put together. And so I started Black Clothing Company, which is a motivational T-shirt company, and it's been going strong for 2 years now. The anniversary was actually in March of this year.
That's awesome, Jordan. And Jordan, we were also talking about, we had the two attorneys on from they were Rayshard Brooks' case, and they're both graduates of HBCUs, and so Sway really took some time to really talk about HBCUs recently this week. So talk to us about you going to North Carolina Central University. You're about to become a proud Eagle. I have a lot of friends at North Carolina Central, a fine institution. Talk to us about why you chose that school in particular.
Just throughout my 4 years of high school, especially my freshman and sophomore year, I really never looked into HBCUs just because, just to be honest, a lot of times they're looked down upon. And I finally had a teacher who, went to a HBCU, and she would always preach to us how important it is as a Black male or Black individual to attend the HBCU. And so I started doing my own research. I originally fell in love with Tuskegee University, just, being on their campus, going to their homecomings. And I really fell in love with the campus, but it wasn't until my senior year, so I took a tour to North Carolina Central. And when I walked on campus and I got to, meet some of the other students, I just felt at home.
Jordan Jackson is here, high school graduate. He's going to do a speech for us in a moment. If you want to talk with him, 888-742-3345. Man, you seem like a very balanced young man. But I would imagine growing up in these times when you see what happened to George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery or Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, as you're growing up, all of these different occurrences, these different tragedies happen to people who look like you. What was your space like amongst your friends? What kind of conversations did you have about these atrocities, and how did you cope during these times?
So my group of friends, we're pretty like-minded, definitely when it comes to situations like this. So when all this happened, especially around George Floyd and Rayshard Brooks, it kind of hurt us because we just never seen so much so quickly, but the time between George Floyd and Rayshard Brooks was almost 2 weeks. It was kind of like back to back. And we were kind of getting, tired of seeing the same thing unfold. And that's when my friends talked to me. They said, Jordan, as the class president, they wanted to make sure I spoke on this. Initially, I didn't plan to, but after Rayshard Brooks and talking down with my friends, they said, forget what anyone else says, Jordan. This has to be said. So,
well, you know what I like to do, and then citizens, I like you to call up and talk to Jordan. We're going to have him do his speech in its entirety that he delivered as a graduate of Luella High School. And with that said, can I get some music, please, as we introduce this young man real quick? Ladies and gentlemen, President, the graduating class of 2020, Luella High School, here to speak to you and address the world on Sway in the Morning. Please welcome to the stage the one and only Jordan Jackson.
Thank you.
Go ahead and fade that down, Adam. Thank you. Go ahead, Jordan. The stage is yours.
Thank you. All right. Let's play a quick game. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's called Life. Are you in? Cool. Oh, wait. You don't know how to play. Don't worry. I'll teach you. But first, there's a few rules. See, everyone gets a game piece. But what does yours say? Well, mine says, I'm a black man born in America with 2 strikes against me. No, I didn't get to choose this. It was given to me. Which reminds me, rule number 1. Players are not allowed to choose where or how they start in life. But rule 2 does give you the choice once the game starts. When I asked you to stand for the pledge, you had a choice, whether to stand, to take a knee, or to not stand at all. And rule 3, you must finish the game no matter the circumstances given beginning and the choices made during life. Simply put, as Mr. Hightower would say, begin with the end in mind. See, this game can be tricky because life doesn't have the same duration for every player. Therefore, we must live life to the fullest, knowing that our lives matter. Yes, that means Black lives matters too. We will not live in fear, although tomorrow is never promised. Yet, we won't take a moment for granted. COVID-19 ended our senior year early. And in the same year, we saw the way life is given, it can be taken away in an instant. Just ask George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, who both tragically lost their lives to police brutality. And even ask Tamir Rice, who should have graduated with us in 2020. So we paused to remember Tamir Rice. But for the grace of God, it could have been you, or it could have been me. Class of 2020, we made it to the field. We made it to the infield at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We made it for Tamir Rice. And we made it for our own classmate, Ozzie Diaz. The game of life has been played the same way for too long by too many. But no longer is that so. Class of 2020, we are not merely players of the game, but we are game changers. If we change the way the game is played, then we can change the world. Which leads me to conclude with rule number 4. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Yes, William Ernest Henley said it best. I am the master of my fate, and I am the captain of my soul. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Jordan Jackson. Yo, stand up.
Wow.
Give a round of applause. Jordan Jackson.
Wow, Jordan.
Jordan
Well
Jackson.
done.
We're going to open up these phone lines. You want to talk with this young man? Jordan, hang out. What a powerful speech. Give us a call, 888-742-3345. Jordan Jackson is on Sway in the Morning. Let it drop.